This kid has a very intelligent shirt. There are genders. And there are.
Oh.
Now, he said censored, that there could be 2 there or 85 there. You don't know. It's sort of like Steven Crowder's shirt, socialism is for figs. It's F*GS. He just censored the word figs. Supreme Court declines to review free speech case
involving student
who wore only two genders shirt, but he didn't wear that.
Unless he put that over it after.
Oh, well, zoom in. No, the shirt is designed.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I could. No.
Can't tell.
No, I think the shirt is designed with the word censored there. Well, now I don't know.
I was just on Reddit because I love to like hate read Reddit, and people were all up in arms about this, and they're like,
"Really?
His parents are such bigots, and his parents are using him as a political statement." But then it's like, well, what about the kids that are wearing rainbow flags? Like, you don't say the same thing. But it's Reddit; they're all.
Yeah, at least wearing a shirt doesn't hurt your tits.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're right. I'm wrong. If you go down a bit, you can see the link.
Okay.
So now I don't know who wrote censored. It could be the graphics. But I'm glad they're suing the school. It's like America got their balls back. Go ahead.
Sorry, the ad blocker is not letting.
Oh, I don't have an ad blocker. How come I can see it and you can't? Massachusetts family sues town and school. Hit that one.
Yeah.
Please don't be an ad first, Fox. 1,000.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
What are you doing, dude?
The Fox with it says I can't look at the thing, but then
after they tried to force him to remove his shirt that said simply, "There are only 2 genders." School had a problem with that. 12-year-old Liam Morrison was told to change or get out of class. After politely refusing to take off the shirt, he was sent home. Now, Liam and his family are suing his town and school for censoring his views, while the school promotes the LGBTQ agenda with pride flags and posters.
Correct.
And Liam joins us right now from
That's
his
doing it
home,
correct.
Screen left, along
Just stop
with
for a
Tyson
second.
Langhoffer.
You can't have it both ways, guys.
right.
You can't. That's called brainwashing. If LGBTQ gets their f***ing rainbows, he's allowed to say no. That's the way it goes. You can say no flags, no political beliefs, I guess. I don't know why. There's an argument there, I should say. But yeah, no, this doesn't count.
Who is representing him. Good morning, fellas.
Oh, he's
Thanks
getting
for
old.
joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, Liam, let's start with you. Take us back to that day in March when you wore that shirt into school. And let's start with, why did you want to wear a shirt that said there are only 2 genders?
I wanted to wear that shirt because it was a very popular topic and I wanted to voice my opinion about it.
And so by wearing the shirt you were, what happened when you showed up in school with that?
When I first arrived, I was met by a lot of people commemorating me and being happy and agreeing with me for wearing the shirt.
Okay, and at some point, a teacher must have had an objection, or because the principal eventually came up to you, and what did they tell you?
Well, they told me that a lot of people were being upset by my shirt and that they
This is boring.
wanted
we
me
know.
to take it off.
It's sort of like the African documentary. Like, you could just close your eyes and imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're suing the school. The school says it was hate, blah, blah, blah. Stupid female teachers who have been brainwashed are trying to convey their brainwashing to young people. And when one of them dares question the dogma, he's a bad boy.
Hi, this is Anthony Cumia,
Hello, I'm Gavin McInnes.
and together we're Compound Censored.
And we would like you to subscribe with this deal using this promo code right below me right now.
Do it, because it's very entertaining.
But the Supreme Court doesn't want to take that on, huh? That's interesting. Why not? How no? Maybe I should have done a little more research here. Justices Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito both issued separate dissents, arguing the court should have taken up the case. The decision comes nearly a year after they ruled against Liam, finding that the school was justified in asking him to remove the shirt. Oh, so that was 2024. So this is an update to an old story. His T-shirt was not directed at anyone. I was just voicing my opinion. The Morrison family was represented by the Alliance Defending Freedom and the Mass. So it looks like the Supreme Court declined, but there's hope that they'll pick it up again because we got Thomas and Alito arguing the court should have taken up the case. Also in kid news, Jordan Peterson got destroyed by a bunch of kids. I think he's like me. He's relatively new to Catholicism and religion and Christianity. I think the best way to handle this is to go, I don't really know. I'm not a very good Catholic. I'm sort of figuring this out as I go. Oh, I don't worship Mary? Okay. The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost? Okay, got it. Thank you. Thanks for educating me. But Jordan has this sort of confrontational Canadianness in him. And these little nerds, they ate him alive. And one of them was being quite uppity to Jordan. And he said, "You're really something." And he goes, "You're really nothing." And people like Nick Fuentes are saying this is the end of Jordan Peterson. Now, one thing I would say about Jordan Peterson, I don't have proof, I think he gets like tens of millions of dollars from these oil tycoons in Texas. That's what I heard. And they probably have caveats like, don't be anti-Semitic, don't do this, support Christianity. And maybe like he's not an expert on any of those things. So he has to tread lightly when that subject comes up. I've been accused of getting money from the Jews, and I've explained very clearly that I don't work for anyone, not even myself. And those kind of people who fund people, you can't swear and say and show a picture of a phalloplasty. They're not interested in that. They want family-friendly stuff. Zoom out so people can find this. It's kind of all over, but it's also kind of hard to find. Right-wing intellectuals starting a video and get so flustered he can't even say if he's Christian or not. This man is a moron. Kind of harsh. You know how I feel about these things. I'm a hippie. I want everyone on the right to be united. But this is news.
Why is that relevant?
Juicy.
You're being kind of a smartass, but I liked you in the Bob Dylan movie.
I have a couple of feminism things here, but I don't really want to play the whole thing. Just change my backdrop, I guess.
Okay.
If you recall, we did a thing a couple weeks ago about, similar to my terrible black female politicians, but it was about plagiarism and how all the deans of Ivy League schools have to be not just women, but black women. And men are good at systems, especially white men. Academia is a system, mostly. It's nerdy. It's sort of like directing. Everyone thinks all these women think they want to be directors. I've done movies, commercials. I don't like directing. It's too autistic for me. This is what directing is having a list of shots you need to get, the single, the wide. The lighting has to be perfect. It has to be consistent. You have to have the script in your head where, wait a minute, she's talking about killing him and she doesn't even know that that's her son yet? That doesn't make any sense. There's going to be mistakes in the script. You have like a continuity editor there who's usually a woman, by the way, and she's like, he had jam on his face. But then you also have to be a tough guy. So you have to be a super nerd who has this list of shots you need, and they all have to be perfect. But then you also have to go, this person sucks. You're fired. Or this person sucks, but they're fixable. So let's say it again, but slower or something like that. Less big, they say. I'm a very like, let's do this and get out of here kind of guy. You can't do that. I'm not meticulous. Like with carpentry, I could build a table out of 4x4s. I couldn't build a miniature table. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So it's not a ladies' thing. Now, academia is even worse than directing. It is study after study and pattern after pattern. It's science. And the trouble with these academic studies is you think that you're going to find out that white conservative males are the biggest liars in the world and the most racist. That's what you want. And then you do the research and you find out it's blacks. And you're like, ugh. This is yucky. So what do when they discover something yucky? They change it. Now, you're not allowed to do that. But it just keeps happening. So it usually happens with these black deans, like what was her name at Harvard? Claudine Gay. Now we have a new one. Another Harvard alumni. She's Harvard business professor, stripped of tenure, fired for manipulating data in studies on dishonesty. How perfect is that? Francesca Gino, a celebrated behavioral scientist at Harvard Business School, was let go after the school's top governing board determined she tweaked observations in 4 studies so that their findings boosted her hypothesis. Wow.
But if,
wow.
Wouldn't she almost also maybe be fired if like her hypothesis was proven wrong? What was that guy that got fired? For
you're not coming through the speaker, by the way.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
No professors have had their tenure revoked at Harvard since the 1940s. Huh. Damn. So what was the hypothesis she was pushing for? Claiming required individuals to sign an honesty pledge beginning form rather than at the end. Okay, here we go. A preliminary investigation into Gino's work by Harvard was launched in October 2021 following concerns. I wonder how these concerns begin. Is it a snitch? About a study she co-authored that claimed requiring individuals to sign an honesty pledge at the beginning of a form rather than at the end significantly boosts honest responses. What's the matter with no, Gina? Gino? What's the matter with no? So I did the tests and I discovered that whether they sign an honesty pledge at the beginning or at the end of the questions, they're about the same amount of honesty. Okay, good to know. That's a successful study. But women just can't handle no. Women in the workforce. So this took forever, by the way. This started in 2022. Just like that other kid with the censored shirt. It was last year the Supreme Court said no. And they're still going through it.
So if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.